Yo guys, what's going on? Got some more BT5 gameplay for you guys, Battle of Omni, featuring a black Greymon build down at the bottom. I'm really loving this deck, alright? This is a really fun, maybe kind of relatively budget deck, I don't know. I mean, aside from like the Ultras and like, level 7s maybe, obviously, but, so it's a black deck focused on like a lot of the Greymon cards, so you see like the reboot package in my hand, and then some of the starter deck Greymon cards as well, and then of course, gotta play my girl Nokia. She's just makes every Greymon Garurumon deck just so much better. So now I'm playing against kind of like a Rafflesimon, like a Digiburst deck up top. Rafflesimon's just such a powerful stun card and just prevents a lot of decks from doing like what they want to do, because there's so many boss monster Digimon that are reliant on when attacking effects, and just being able to stop that, like stopping that altogether, is just really crazy. So anyways, my opponent is going to, set up with that Kabuterimon, then play the Agumon, putting me at 2 memory. You see the blocker Agumon in my hand there, which is super nice because when you, play a Nokia and then play him for free, he is a blocker. So he actually does something on board, which is pretty nice. Unfortunately for me, I don't really have any level 4s in my hand, so missing the, jamming Greymon, stuff like that. So I'm just going to hard play the Metal Greymon for a cost of 8. Super unfortunate, but you do see the Blitz Greymon in my hand there, so if he does commit to the board a little bit more, I'll be able to potentially counterattack with the Blitz, and then maybe an Omnimon Ultras or something. So my opponent is going to Digivolve into Weedmon for a cost of 1. He is really good because basically anytime you detach him due to Digiburst, you get to gain a memory. So something like Lilamon from BT4 is really nice because Lilamon can detach 2 materials and suspend something on your opponent's side of the field. So I'm not too worried about the Metal Greymon dying at this point because he does have to get rid of the Agumon, putting the Lilamon at only 7,000, so he would end up having to crash. So he's just going to kill the, suspend the Agumon, Toy Agumon, and then gain 1 memory from the Weedmon. So it effectively pays for itself, right? It's a free evolution. It's pretty nice. So then he's just going to swing over the Toy Agumon with the Lilamon. And then we also see the Yokomon in the back. That is a Digi-Egg back there. That gives you 2,000 DP if you detach it due to Digiburst. And then he's going to get set up with his Mimi there in the back. So Mimi's really good because now he's guaranteed 3 memory every single turn. And now I'm finally just drew into 2 Nokia. So drew into 2 of her, which is pretty nice because she has a couple really good effects. One, when played, you can play an Agumon or a Gabumon from your hand for free. Now keep in mind that does have to be like Agumon, not Toy Agumon, so it doesn't work with Toy Agumon, but if you do Digivolve into a Greymon or an Omnimon, you can suspend her to reduce that Digivolution cost by 1, which is pretty nice. So then I'm just going to go into Blitz Greymon, which you could argue maybe wasn't the best move because I did Digivolve his blocker, but then now he's got the Terriermon Assistant, which also has a Digiburst effect where it's basically the Tentomon, where you can reveal the top card of your deck, and then if it's a green Digimon, you can add it to your hand. But I mean, I don't know. I just wanted to get Blitz on field so I can go into Ultra S. Maybe that wasn't the best play. You guys can let me know. Anyways, because he does have a level 5 or higher green Digimon in play right now, being the Lilamon, he can just suspend Mimi and bring out the Argomon, even though he just Digivolved this turn, which is pretty sweet. And then he's going to go into the Rafflesimon for 3. So then now Rafflesimon's effect will trigger because he's going to be able to use the Digiburst 1 from the Terriermon Assistant, unfortunately, hitting like one of the very few non-tamer, like non-Digimon cards. And then Rafflesimon says if you use Digiburst, you can, stun one of your opponent's Digimon. You can prevent one of your opponent's Digimon from attacking or blocking. So being able to, prevent them from blocking too is really good. So I'm just going to flip my Blitz Greymon upside down just to indicate, it can't attack the following turn. But then he's going to attack a security, suspending the Commandramon with the inherited effect of the Lilamon. But fortunately for me, he hits a War Greymon in security. So then the Rafflesimon is only 11,000 because keep in mind, my opponent did not use her effect. He used the Terriermon to gain the, additional +1. So anyways, then my opponent will actually swing over the Commandramon with the Terriermon. Well, they'll crash because Yokomon did give the Terriermon +2,000 for the turn, putting it at 3,000. So then he is going to be able to crash into the Commandramon. So then after that, he's just going to play the Lilymon from the hand for 7. And my turn, I'm going to bring out the Chumon. Unfortunately, won't be able to attack with the Blitz right now, but I'm just going to play my copy of Nokia Shiramine from my hand, and then play the Agumon from my hand for free. And then now Nokia set up so then I can potentially, Digivolve into something like this Greymon right here. Started at Greymon, and then Digivolve for 1 cost because it's reduced by 1. And then Greymon's really nice because he has the effect of if your opponent didn't attack this turn, you get to just draw 1 for free, which is pretty nice, especially if you've got a bunch of big blockers on the field, stuff like the War Greymon there. So I'm just going to go into War Greymon to end off my turn, putting my opponent at 3, and then he's going to start by hatching the Yokomon. So now I've got an 11,000 blocker on field. If my opponent does not attack during this turn, I will draw 1 from the Greymon, which that is exactly what's going to happen. So he's just going to hard play the Lilymon. Now my Blitz Greymon is free to attack all he wants. So I didn't actually draw there for the Greymon, but I think I'm going to catch that in just 1 second. So then I'll draw again. So anyways, so then my War Greymon, since he does have Reboot, he also has the Security Attack +1 from the Metal Greymon, and then he also has +1000 from the Kapurimon because he does have blockers. And then I'm just going to play another copy of Nokia, and then I am taking in a couple copies of the BT5 Red Agumon, so that lets you on play reveal top 3 cards of your deck, add a Greymon and an Omnimon, but just going to add the Blitz Greymon there. Which is pretty nice, especially for only a 3 cost. Already, Nokia pays for herself, right? I paid 3 memory, played her, and then got an Agumon for free, and got a plus off the Agumon. So now I'm just going to swing into security with War Greymon. Again, he is 12,000 and checking 2 cards, so I did get around the Rafflesimon, which is pretty nice. And then going to swing with the Blitz Greymon for 12,000, and now I've also got 5 Digimon in play. My opponent has 2 security, so I'm thinking I'm probably going to take this one to round things off. I'm going to play Tai Kamiya and Matt Ishida for a cost of 4. So that's a dual tamer that lets me gain 2 memory if my opponent has a level 6 or higher Digimon on field. So I know he's got the 2 level 5s, so if he decides to go any higher, which he'll probably need to do to out my board, I'm just going to be able to, gain advantage off of that. So then anyways, he's going to go into Tyrannomon, which I thought was a really weird, kind of cool tech. So he's going to Digivolve Tyrannomon. Tyrannomon adds a level 5 Digimon as well as a Green Tamer. Unfortunately, neither of those is going to be in that stack. But I can see the synergy, right? If you're playing Mimi, if you're playing Yoshino, then you probably want some sort of Tamer search ability. My opponent is going to play Hidden Potential Discovered, and at that point I was like, oh no, please, what's coming, we'll see. But he's just going to Digivolve the Lilymon for a cost of 0, trying to dig into his deck even more. That starter deck Lilymon lets you reveal 5 cards and add a 6 or higher, I believe. So then he's going to be able to add that Rafflesimon, which is pretty nice. But unfortunately, with only 1 memory left and no level 6s on field, right? If you had a level 6 on field, then you could just Digivolve into Rafflesimon for a cost of 1. That'd be pretty sick. But unfortunately, he won't be able to do that. So he's just going to be able to Digivolve into Rafflesimon probably for a cost of 3 and passing it over to me. But if he does do that, I'll start with 2 extra memory because of Tai and Matt. So yeah, he's just going to Digivolve into Rafflesimon, and then it is going to be passed over to me. Since my opponent did not attack, I do actually draw 1 from the Greymon. I'll draw 1 for turn, and then I'll start with 4 memory because of Tai and Matt. And now at this point, I'm like, alright, well, he's got no blockers. I've got Blitz Greymon with Piercing. Maybe I should do that, but it doesn't matter either. No, regardless of how I do this, I have enough damage for a game. So then that will be game 1, but you'll be able to attack with all of my Greymon. So that's going to be game 1, guys. So then game 2, my opponent, I believe, is going to start. And now my hand is looking pretty okay. I don't have any black rookies. I'm not playing any red eggs, if you guys are wondering, in this specific deck. But I could just play the Agumon and then just try to dig for maybe an Omnimon or something. But then we're going to see my opponent start. He's going to open up with the promo Palmon. So then that Palmon gives your Digimon jamming if it is detached due to Digiburst, which is pretty sick. So then finally drew into the black rookie there. Thank you for, thanks Agumon. So I'm just going to Digivolve Agumon on top of the Kapurimon and then draw into some more rookies. So I think I'm in a pretty good situation right now. Unfortunately, don't have any level 4s, so let's see if we can change that. Let's see if we can get any Greymons by playing the Agumon. And there it is. That is why you play the Searcher Agumon. I think he's really good. Especially if you're playing Nokia, you might as well throw him in. You don't care about digivolving him, you just play him from hand. And I'm going to add the Greymon to my hand, so then now I've got the full package of Toy Agumon, Greymon, and Metal Greymon. That combo is so good, right? Being able to give your Digimon reboot, jamming, and security attack +1, super crazy. So then my opponent is going to bring out the Kabuterimon, digivolve the Blossomon for a cost of 0 just by suspending it, being able to do that without passing turn. And then here we are going to see a Grand Kuwagamon. So this card was, has been super prominent in the BT4 meta due to, the fact that it can Digiburst, give itself +2 security attack, then Palmon gives him jamming, and then you go into something like Chaosmon afterwards. But it's still very relevant because of cards like Rafflesimon. So then when you, resolve Grand Kuwagamon to give your Digimon extra security buffs, then you just, prevent one of your opponent's Digimon from attacking or blocking the following turn. So it's pretty crazy. I'm just going to bring out my blocker Agumon. I might end up having to sacrifice that, but then I'm just going to end my turn by playing Tai and Matt. And then my opponent's going to start with 3, digivolving the Agumon on top of the Yokomon. So if he has like a Chaosmon here, you might just check everything. I don't know if that's like the best move to just like use a Chaosmon on a couple of rookies, but if he wants to be greedy and just take out all my security right now, he might as well try. But he's just going to digivolve into Gargomon and then go into Lilamon for a cost of 3. And then I'm going to start with 1, but Tai and Matt do put me to 3. So then I'll start with 3. And then now I think, because I do have the Blitz Greymon, I'm going to just keep my blocker Agumon out there and then probably just Digivolve on up into the Greymon jamming package. So I think maybe I should also swing with the Agumon because I'm not playing any like red level 4s or anything. Like he doesn't do anything on field, so it might be fine to just like get rid of him, get a security check in. But maybe he has like, what is Green playing security that could stop me? I don't know, like Fire Cannon or something? But I'm just going to Digivolve the Greymon and then pass turn by playing the Agumon. I think I definitely should have just attacked with the red Agumon there. Like, there's no reason not to, right? So that was probably like I don't know how major of a misplay that is, but it's definitely a misplay. Anyway, so then my opponent is going to bring out the Lilamon and then use its effect to Digiburst 2, and then putting her at 9,000 because of the Yokomon was detached, and then suspend the blocker Agumon, so then he will be able to potentially attack over them. Now, thankfully he doesn't have 3, so then he's not able to go into like another like level 6 after that, unless he has hidden potential discovered or like any other way to gain memory, but I don't believe he does. I mean, we might see an HPD, who knows. So then my opponent is just going to attack with the Lilamon over the blocker Agumon. There's no really reason for me to block with the other one because like one of them is going to die anyways. And then after that, I'm just going to start my turn after he digivolves into the Hercules Kabuterimon, which is pretty scary, but I do start my turn with 4, which is pretty nice. So now I can go into perhaps Metal Greymon and then maybe Blitz to just get rid of one of his powerful Digimon. I think getting rid of the Hercules is probably really imperative right now because he could just suspend my blocker and then just start attacking over me, and then that'll pave the way for Grand Kuwagamon, or he could like Grand Kuwagamon give the Hercules Kabuterimon security attack +2 and jamming, so that would be pretty crazy. So anyways, I'm just going to go into Blitz Greymon after attacking because the Metal Greymon does have reboot and he has jamming because of the Greymon, so that's pretty nice. I'm just going to Blitz Greymon, and because of the way he arranged his, his stack, because of the way he detached them from Lilamon, he actually goes down back to Rookie from the Hercules Kabuterimon, which is pretty crazy. So then my opponent is going to start his turn with 3, and now I've got a pretty decent field. I've got the Blitz Greymon that can, it'll check 2 cards with jamming, plus it's got piercing, so it's got lots of really powerful effects. My opponent is just going to go ahead and use Grand Kuwagamon to detach 4 materials to give it security attack +2. So then after that, he's going to swing. It also does have jamming from the Palmon, and I was debating here whether or not to block. Like, I think the obvious choice is to block, but if he does have Chaosmon, then I just lose like 2 Digimon. So I don't know, but I do definitely think the correct move here is to block. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to prevent him from hitting my security with the Agumon blocker, and then he's going to bring out the Agumon with the Mimi, which I feel like you probably should have done the, like, before attacking, but I guess if you have jamming, it's not, like, really a big deal, but who knows. I mean, for all he knows, I could have, like, a Gaia Force. I am playing, like, a red and black mixed deck, kind of. So anyways, my opponent is just going to Digivolve into the Kabuterimon, play the Argomon for 2, and then finally go into Chaosmon like I kind of anticipated, and then unsuspend the Chaosmon via his own effect, and then attack a Digimon, which that Digimon can be an unsuspended Digimon, so then he's going to be able to attack the Blitzgreymon. Chaosmon does have piercing, and then he gets security attack +2 and jamming from the Grand Coagumon and the Palmon, so then he's just going to run through a load of powerful Digimon. Like, that's just absolutely crazy. Ran to Alteress and a Blitzgreymon, and, like, oh my god, dude. Like, so he just took out 3 security cards and one of my really powerful Digimon on field. So that's really crazy. I will start my turn with 8, so I'm just going to go ahead and hatch. Digivolve the Commandramon. And unfortunately, no level 4s right now, so maybe the idea here is to play Nokia and then play the Agumon and then dig for more level 4s, or I could just, like, hard play the Wargreymon and then just to have a blocker on field. But finally, I'm going to be able to dig deeper for the Greymon. So Nokia is just so good, being able to get out the Agumon and then just dig for your combo pieces. So then I'm going to go into Greymon, but at this point, I'm not sure there's really anything I can do, right? I could have, like, earlier I could have played the Wargreymon for 12, but either way, I could have only put up 1 blocker, and he's got 4 Digimon in play, and one of which has piercing. So I think, unless we see, I don't know, something crazy in security, this might be it. So he's going to attack. I'm not going to block because Chaosmon does have piercing. We see another Time Mat, which is pretty sweet, but I don't think I'm going to live to see it the following turn. So then he's just going to Digivolve the Kabuterimon into Argomon for a cost of 3, not using its Digisorption at all, and then going into Rafflesimon. He's just styling on me at this point, right? And he could also go Mimi and then bring out the Agumon as well. Okay, which he's going to do. And then now he can use Rafflesimon's Digiburst, so giving all of his Digimon plus 2,000. Not only that, but then now because he used a Digiburst effect, Rafflesimon prevents one of my Digimon from attacking or blocking, so now I can't block with the Dark Tyrannomon, so it really didn't matter how many blockers I had. He's just going to attack and then swing for game with the Agumon. So then that's going to be game 2. And then game 3, I'm going to start with a pretty decent opening hand. So I'm going to Digivolve the Chumon, draw some cards, and then just play Nokia and get a Agumon on board for free. Unfortunately, my hand size is looking pretty small. Right? I only got 3 Digimon in hand. I'm also playing the starter deck Metal Greymon. That's the rightmost card in my hand. That one gives one of your Digimon blocker until the end of the turn. So that's actually a pretty cool effect. So he can make himself a 7,000 blocker, or you could, do something like make Alter S or Blitz Greymon a blocker, which is pretty powerful. So then I'm just going to Digivolve Greymon for a cost of 1 because of Nokia. Nokia can reduce that cost to 1. And then going to Metal Greymon for a cost of 3. Metal Greymon's effect will then trigger, and I will go ahead and make him the blocker until the end of my opponent's next turn. I'm going to Digivolve my blocker Agumon into the Tyrannomon, Dark Tyrannomon there. I don't really care. I'm not losing a blocker in that sense, but I guess I am now because I just straight up Digivolved him, but it's fine. I don't think my opponent's going to attack early game anyways, and I've got plenty of other blockers. That's the cool thing about Black. Like, you never really feel bad about evolving your blockers, because, like, your deck is, like, literally all blockers. So then anyways, my opponent is going to go ahead and bring out his Agumon, Digivolve into the weightlifting Kabuterimon there, and if hopefully we don't see, like, our Hercules or, like, or anything like Rafflesia hit the field, because that would be pretty devastating, but we are going to see the Digisorption effect triggered off of the Blossomon, so he gets to suspend one of his own Digimon to effectively evolve for free, and then he's going to go into Grand Coagumon for a cost of 3. So then leaving me with only 1 memory. Unfortunately, I don't have a memory tamer, so there's no way I'll be able to, like, get over his a Grand Coagumon, or even the Lilamon there. Yeah, because Metal Greymon, well, the left Metal Greymon is 7,000 right now. He doesn't gain the plus 1,000 because he's currently not a blocker anymore. That was only until the end of the last turn. So I'm just going to go Blitz Greymon. Blitz Greymon lets me de-Digivolve something by 2 stages when Digivolving, so I'm just going to get rid of the top 2 cards of his Grand Coagumon stack. So now I don't have to worry about that, and I'm not trying to get OTK'd by him anymore. So then my opponent is going to start with 3 memory, hatch the Yokomon, Digivolve into the Promo Palmon. There's just such a powerful card. And then, what could we see here? I don't think there's anything that immediately threatens me, unless he goes like Grand Kuagamon, Chaosmon, or if he has another Digiabsorption target, because we saw the Blossomon, we saw Argomon, like basically every green deck is playing like the Digiabsorption package. Like there's no reason not to, it's just so good. And then we're just going to see Palmon there, that is BT5 Palmon, which is a pretty interesting tech. She lets you put a Palmon from your trash onto one of your green Digimon upon deletion, so it's pretty sweet. That works really nice with all the Digiburst Digimon like Lilamon. Get 2 uses out of Lilamon, which is really crazy, and then, you know, multiple uses out of like Rafflesimon, stuff like that. So she's actually a pretty decent card as like maybe a 1 or 2 of. So then, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and swing with the Blitz Greymon. He will only check 1 card, but for 12,000, so that's really nice. And then I think Ultra S is the move here, maybe, because I do go Ultra S. It will kill 2 of his Digimon. The Lilamon is currently 7,000, so that won't die. But maybe War Greymon here is the right move, because then that will establish an 11,000 blocker, or maybe I could just go into Tie and Mat, and then you know, okay, so I think that's the correct move here. I'm just going to go Tie and Mat, because then now my opponent will start with 3, but if he does decide to go into a level 6 Digimon, then he'll be starting me with like at least 3 memory every single turn, right? So he's going to, you know, run, Palmon will run into the Ultra S there, and then he is going to attach the Palmon underneath the Lilamon, which is pretty sweet. So if he does manage to get like another one, Lilamon will be able to use their effect. Or if he goes into something like a Rafflesimon or Hercules Kabuterimon or a Grand Kuagamon, they'll be able to use their effect. So Palmon is a really, really cool card. He's going to play a Argomon for 2 and then Digivolve a Kabuterimon blocker for 1. So he does have double blockers on field. Blitz Greymon doesn't really care because he he does have piercing, so that's pretty nice. And then my opponent is just going to end his turn by passing. And then I'm going to go ahead Star Hash the Kapurimon. I do have the 1 toy Agumon in my hand, so let's go ahead and Digivolve that for a cost of 0. I've got the Greymon, Dark Tyrannomon, but I'm not sure what I should do here. I think, okay, yeah, War Greymon's pretty decent move, because now I'm going to Digivolve him for 2, and now he's a blocker with reboots, and then I can just go ahead and swing, and I will have jamming because, he'll be 12,000, but he'll have jamming because of the Greymon there, so then I'm going to hit into a Felicimon there, but he will live, and then I'll go ahead and swing with the Blitz Greymon. No reason not to. He's not going to block it anyways, just check 1 card. That's the Gargomon there, and then finally, maybe you guys could tell this is coming. I think the plan here is to go Ultra S, and you'll see why this is even more crazy, right? I'm going to go Ultra S for a cost of 6. Draw a card. Ultra S lets me de-Digivolve all my opponent's Digimon and delete everything with a 5 play cost or lower. So that is everything on his field. So unfortunately for him, the Palmon actually backfired, because previously he just had the Lilamon and that wouldn't have died to Ultra S. But because he attached it under the Palmon underneath the Lilamon, then Ultra S de-Digivolves Lilamon into Palmon, and then Palmon's less than 5,000, so he just dies. So the whole field is wiped. It's actually ridiculous. Ultra S, guys, Ultra S is not going anywhere. This card is not getting phased out. This card is still ridiculous. Alright, it's a game winner. So then my opponent is going to try to do some sort of like recuperation. He's going to start Digivolving. We see like the Weedmon and stuff in his breeding area. He does have 5 memories, so maybe he can build up into like a Hurricane or some other form of very powerful Digimon. But with only 2 security, I've also got 4 Digimon in play, one of which cannot be blocked, by the way. Ultra S does have that second effect that a lot of people maybe forget about. You can return a level 6 material to your hand to prevent him from being blocked. So then my opponent is just going to play the Kabuterimon for a cost of 6, putting me at 5. Not going to gain the memory off of Time Map because he does not have a level 6 or higher Digimon, but doesn't matter, so I'm just going to bring out the toy Agumon, swing with the Ultra S that is going to check 2 cards because of the Tie and Mat. I almost forgot about that because it does a security attack +1, but either way, I'm just going to be able to attack for game. So the guys, that is going to be game. If you did enjoy, go ahead and let me know in the comments and all that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.